Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to yet another episode of Project Sanity. I am your host, Nis Pedersen. With me today is my co-founder and co-host, Richard Green, also known as Progressive Greens. We have an amazing show for you today. We are going to be talking about the 28 pages from the 9/11 report that has finally been released. We are gonna be talking about. I'm getting some static in the background, very sorry. We are going to be talking about the coup in Turkey. We are going to be talking about the shooting of yet another unarmed black man. And we are going to get into our deep dive. We're going to try and put some pieces together alongside our audience and try and see if we can figure out what's going on with these narratives that keeps being created around freedom fighters, coups, terrorists, what is what, which is what, and this tendency we all have to need things being put in these square boxes. And more than that, we will be talking about the live coverage that we will be bringing you alongside all of our partners in Progressive Army next week, starting Sunday, ending Friday of the Democratic National Convention. But first off, here is Richard bringing you the news.
Yes, thank you, Nis, and I am also extremely excited about our coverage coming up for the Democratic National Convention. We've got a lot of great things lined up to fill out the day. We've got some special guests dropping by, and lots of great coverage lined up for you guys, so make sure to tune in. You'll be able to find it at dnc.live or dnclive.net and also at projectsanity.org, and you'll be able to get directly led to the feed, and you will be we'll have those links out and available leading up to the coverage as well. As far as what we have going on in the news, I'm sure many people are aware. Recently, there was the shooting of Charles Kinsey, shot by police. I think I mistyped it in there. So what happened was, essentially, he was a. Sorry, we were a little scattered around, so I just want to make sure that I have everything lined up for you. And so, essentially, he was trying to defuse a difficult situation. He was a supervisor behavioral therapist at a group home where an autistic gentleman had run away and was carrying a toy truck, and the report from the 911 call was that he was threatening suicide. What we see in the video, which we're going to show you shortly, it's not too graphic, but we do want you to be aware of what's going on there. This isn't one of the more graphic police shootings, but it still may be a trigger for some folks, so I do want to give you guys a warning that that's coming up. As we see in the video, he did seem to be being somewhat like loud or aggressive, but the man who you see on back who was shot, Charles Kinsey, had his hands up and had been explaining, as again you'll see in the video, what the situation was. And reports are that when he asked the officer why he shot him, that the officer's response was, "I don't know." And I think that's kind of the situation that a lot of people are facing, is like, that's not really an acceptable answer. But I'm going to go ahead and lead us into the video so you can see what happened if you hadn't seen the video yet. So just give me a moment to get that up for you guys. And here we go. All right, oops, got to get it sized here. Sorry about that, folks. All right, so here it is.
Like, please don't shoot me. But why they shot the black boy and not the fat boy?
You know, because they with the blacks, you know.
And what you see there at the end of the video is Charles Kinsey getting handcuffed after being shot inexplicably by the police. And according to a CBC radio, they did an interview with Charles Kinsey's lawyer, and in the interview they describe what transpired and what happened after. So if you haven't had a chance to check it out, make sure to get a chance to go look at it. It's in our video description, but some of the details from it are bothersome. Apparently, one detail, as you see in the video, that you see Mr. Kinsey is trying to defuse the situation, keep things calm, informs the police that the object in his hands that the 911 caller thought was a gun is actually a toy truck, tells them...
Richard, your audio went...
Oh, I'm sorry if I'm having some... It should be... it's showing me on my side that it's coming through all right, so... Are we still having issues, or was it temporary? Okay, yeah, okay, I think the background of the video was still playing, the audio. And so just moving forward with what we see in the video, it took approximately 20 minutes for the paramedics to arrive. Meanwhile, Mr. Kinsey was laying on the hot cement, handcuffed, bleeding, with no assistance from the officers that either shot him or the other officers on scene. There were, I believe, at least 3 officers on scene at the time. And so I find that highly problematic, and I think we'll talk in more detail. I just want to get some of the actual information out before I go too far into opinion. Also, the police records show that it was 31 minutes from when the EMT call was placed to when Mr. Kinsey arrived at the hospital, so about 20 minutes until they reached the scene seems to be an appropriate estimate. And the lawyer said at one point, the really sad part about this is that not only did he do everything that he was supposed to do, he was trying to encourage the autistic adult to also comply with the police, and he told him while he was laying flat on his back he was a behavioral therapist and that this gentleman has autism. But equally important, Mr. Kinsey informed the police that the instrument in the client's hand was a toy truck, as you can clearly hear on the video. That's the part that's really shocking. Even though they received a call about the gun, you clearly could see it was a toy truck that this guy was playing with, and you could clearly tell he was autistic. And going further into that, when the police unions have since come out and tried to offer an explanation as to what happened. According to Chuck Rabin's Twitter feed, with CBC, he says the police union boss admits the North Miami cop who shot mental health care worker was aiming at the autistic man next to him and missed. So the explanation that the police union has gone with so far is that the officer was actually aiming at the autistic adult who was sitting there with his toy that had already been identified by the man on his back, complying with officers with his hands in the air, that it was not in fact a gun but a toy. And that's who they meant to shoot, but on accident, they shot the man laying on the ground. Now, I don't know how much better of an explanation that is, but that is what the union has come out and said that that the officer has told them that he was attempting to do. So it went from, I don't know why I shot you, to I was actually shooting at the other guy to protect you. So this is part of a line of issues with police releasing versions of events that evolve over time in a way that seem inconsistent with being the truth, I suppose. And so there's more to go on in there, and maybe we'll talk more about it later. But some of the other headlines that I did want to capture and cover were the Edward Snowden has been doing research in cooperation with a hacker that developed an Xbox Live exploit a while back. But essentially what they're doing is trying to get your phones so that they work for you and not against you in such a way that, as of now, your phone has an array of sensors between, depending on the model of the phone, but it usually has a couple cameras on it, microphone, radio transmitter, GPS locator, and several other bells and whistles that can allow people to extract information from your device. And the device interfaces as they are now cannot be relied upon to accurately display what your device is doing, according to Snowden. And I do want to get the article up here just so I can have some more of the information available here. But regarding what he was doing, essentially, there's some videos that you can see on some of his previous interviews where he's talked about essentially disabling certain devices on your phone, so that if you don't, this is particularly important for journalists who want to protect sources. If you're having phone conversations and your phone may be communicating information that you're not aware of, that puts both you and your source at risk. This is also important for people working in, let's say, less than receptive countries or states that regarding civilian or citizen media. So your Syrias, your Turkeys, and some other countries, particularly in the Middle East and in the South America, for that matter. He's in development, and he's making significant progress. You can find more out on the Intercept report, and it's a great, it's very informative and has some actual quotes from Edward Snowden, and so there's lots of information there.